Welcome to another episode of Wheel of Horror, the podcast where two best friends spin a wheel every day in the month of October. It chooses the horror movie, and they discuss it. Today we're talking about 1988's Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers, which was directed by Dwight H. Little. I'm your co-host, Alec.
I'm Eric.
And Eric, we are talking about your favorite horror movie of all time probably is the 1978 Halloween, right?
Yes.
Okay, so this is basically part 3 of that story. So
Correct.
what do you think? I mean, now that you've seen this, probably 10 times throughout your life?
Yeah, I'm going to say this. I'm going to start off with this. This movie holds a very special place in my heart,
Oh,
only because this was the day I got my dog, Shadow, back
oh.
in 2004 was the first time I saw this movie. That day I got her. I was watching it at night with her. So this movie, I remember back to when I got my dog, and I watched this movie at night. That's a connection I have with this movie.
That's a nice little story. I didn't know that. That's
Yeah.
nice. But you know, pretend you don't have a dog. Do you like this movie?
Yes, I do. I do like this movie a lot. Yeah.
Okay. So that's the thing. I think for someone like, I mean, I love Halloween too. I've seen every single one. I love them all for different reasons. But like you specifically, like I think of you and Michael Myers and the original Halloween. You love these movies. So for you to be like such a huge fan,
Yeah.
this is where it kind of starts to go downhill. I feel like
You think it goes downhill here?
it starts to go downhill.
Let me share my thoughts on this. And I'm going to say this. This is the movie John Carpenter knew it had to be, but he didn't want to do it.
What do you mean? He's not even involved in it.
He did two.
Yeah.
He did two. And he's like, I had nothing. But he knew like it has to be like something along the lines of what they did in this movie would have to be what they did. I think this is the movie that John Carpenter knew like it was going to have to be if we wanted to bring Michael back, because Michael be burnt up in Halloween 2.
Dude, it makes no sense that he's alive. I mean, he got shot in the head twice and exploded. So I think John Carpenter was like, that's it.
Right. But that was back in what year did Halloween 2 come out?
81.
81. So that is really before the Jason craziness happens, where it's just like, well, how the hell did they bring Jason back? Didn't they chop his head off like 5 times and burn it? No, that is before that. This is after that. This is 88, right?
Yeah, this is 88. Yeah.
So this movie is like, hey, we've done that with Jason and Freddy like 10 times already. Like, let's do it with Michael. And they did that. And I think that's what John Carpenter couldn't get to back then. So that's why I'm saying like this is the movie John Carpenter knew it would have to be, but he's like, I'm not making that. And that was back then. You know what I mean? Or that he just goes the route of like, hey, like in 1985, like, hey, forget that Halloween 2 I'm doing and just do Halloween, the one they did in 2018,
Yeah, I mean, ideally that would have been the right step, but
there was an interview I read, and I know commentary from John Carpenter somewhere on some DVD. It might have been the bonus features for this, where he was talking about writing the script to Halloween 3, and he had a 6-pack of beer, and I have to find it somewhere, but he just couldn't come up with an idea that worked. So he wrote Season of the Witch.
okay. I had heard that same story, but I thought it was with regards to Halloween 2, that he had no idea of how to continue the story with Michael Myers.
Right, with Michael. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, after Halloween 2, it's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like, and also, and Jamie Lee Curtis is such a big star. It has to be a good movie. Like, it's...
Well, that's why they went to that anthology style with Halloween 3, which we have on the wheel coming up soon, hopefully. But that one, it was the Season of the Witch. They're like, we're going a totally different direction. And then, you're right, the success of Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street and all these other slasher movies, even Sleepaway Camp, they were like, you know what? Why the fuck? We started this shit. Let's bring him back. Let's bring it back. So,
right.
John Carpenter and Deborah Hill actually sold their portion of Halloween to Mustafa Akkad, who then was like, all right, it's 10 years later.
We're gonna Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th the shit out of this.
We're getting some of that money that we inspired. How much did this cost to make?
I wrote it down here. The budget was $5 million for this one, and it made $18 million. That's a decent profit for back in the day.
It's pretty good.
A decent profit for a movie like this. That's triple the budget.
Yeah.
More than triple what you put in.
Yeah.
Also, I wanted to bring up another point why I like this movie, and it's because the next movie that's coming. Oh, also Halloween, the 2018 sequel, took a lot from this. And I don't know if you caught some of the things from this, but when they go to see the asylum in Halloween, the 2018 one, and they make that the same thing of how this movie starts, where they go into this place and it's like it's the pit of hell.
Yeah.
It is like, this place is terrible. Like, there's God doesn't exist here. It's like the kind of thing the guy says, but in like a kind of cheesy way. That one did obviously a better job, but same thing. There's a crash. The ambulance crashes. In Halloween 2018, the bus crashes and he gets out. So it took from this movie, I think, a little bit. And also another thing, Halloween Kills is going to take what this movie did,
Yep.
and that is, spoiler alert, the sheriff dies towards the end of the movie, so there is no sheriff in town, and they go into lynch mob mentality in this movie. That's what I think Halloween Kills is gonna be, and it made it.
Yeah.
The trailer's out, and it looks like Tommy Doyle is gonna be like the head of the lynch mob.
Mhm.
So I am getting my popcorn and my Diet Coke. I am so ready to see Halloween Kills in a few days. I am so pumped.
I know. Yeah, you're right though. It does. I mean, just from the trailer, it does look like it's pulling a lot from this movie. Of they're like, "Fuck this! We're taking our town back. It's 10 years. This guy's been has put a plague on this town since 1978."
Right, right, but there's that, but there's also, like, "Oh, that was his daughter," and, like, "I knew his daughter," and stuff like that. It's only 10 years fresh.
Right.
When Michael comes back, it's 40 years in Halloween Kills.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's gonna dig deep roots into how Haddonfield hates Michael Myers. I am so ready for it. That was my 2 cents from this movie, and that's why I appreciate this movie because, hey, with all said and done, this was the direction that Halloween movies needed to take.
It's the next logical step. I'm not thrilled that Jamie Lee Curtis isn't in it, and I think that the way they kill her off is just kind of like, eh.
Yeah, I mean, well, you know why? Because
I mean,
they
she's just
couldn't afford her.
yeah, but it would've been cool if she had the same mentality in '88 as she did in '98 and 2018, like, she would kinda just be like, "You know what? This is what gave me my start. I wanna kinda,
Yeah.
like, continue with this."
Well, you wanna talk about someone else who's in this movie?
Loomis.
Donald
Donald
Pleasance.
yeah.
Oh, that lucky son of a bitch. I love Donald Pleasance. You know for a fact he did not want to be in Halloween 1. They
Yeah.
had to butter his bread to get him into that movie, get him his own trailer, get him this, get him that. The
Mhm.
time, Halloween 4 rolls around, he was like, "Put whatever makeup on me you want."
Yeah.
Like
It's like, "Oh, is that fake cat throw up? Yeah, glue it to my face. It'll be the scar."
Hey, you're gonna go in the water and into this nasty creek and go into the ambulance. Like, dude, they had him like, we're gonna use you, Donald Pleasance now.
Yeah, I
And
know.
there's gonna be an explosion. You're gonna jump in this dumpster. Like, that wasn't him, but like, you know what I mean? Like,
Well, there
Donald
was
Pleasance, you lucky son of a bitch. He's the Alec Guinness of horror movies. Boom.
what did he say? He was like, "I would do 100 Halloweens." He's like, "I'll never stop." I mean, and then he died obviously doing it.
Yeah.
I think that's so funny that somebody hates it so much and then becomes the person who's, like, basically the main character throughout the whole series, basically.
I mean, it's like Alec Guinness, what I just said. Like, he had no idea what the hell he was saying in Star Wars. He's like, "What do I have to say about the Force?" Is it the Force is everything? Like, "Oh, okay." Like his estate makes so much money off of Star Wars just because Alec Guinness was in it. He's phenomenal as Obi-Wan, but
I think I looked
that
it up recently. I think his estate is still
billions.
no, no, no. I think it's 150,000,000.
I would assume more, but wow, okay.
But still, considering, he died, I think in the late '80s or the early '90s,
Yeah.
and he, dude, he did 3 Star Wars movies in what, or 6 years? And then and then that's it. His family is generationally wealthy for the rest of their lives because he did those 3 movies. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
that's out of control.
Yeah.
Out of control.
But Loomis, I don't think he got that much money, but he didn't get Alec Guinness
No,
money,
I
but
think I think I think it's no, I don't want to see the Alec Guinness money, but like I like Donald Pleasance too. I thought he was great as Sam Loomis, but you can tell like he's the lines was, "You know the date?" Remember that line? Like, there's some
which one?
lines that they kinda try to take that John Carpenter-esque, like, "I saw this blank, pale, emotionless face." They try to take this amazing poetry-like scenes with Donald Pleasance in the original Halloween. He's like, "He's pure evil, pure," and they kinda tried to do it with this. Like, in the first, like, couple scenes when he's, like, against, like, the Smith's Grove guy, he's like, "Do you
Yeah.
know what today is? Do you know
Yeah.
what it's like to look in the mirror?" It's like, "Oh my god, don't try to recreate what John Carpenter wrote because John Carpenter's way better at this kind of stuff. I'm sorry, I'm just rambling because I'm passionate, but I do enjoy this movie thoroughly. I really do.
Yeah, like, I think for me, and in the order that I would say it goes is probably 1978 Halloween,
Hmm.
2018 Halloween, 1981 Halloween 2, probably then, Halloween H2O,
Hmm.
then this one, then the Rob Zombie one, then the 6th one, The Curse of Michael Myers, then the 5th one, then Resurrection, then Halloween, Rob Zombie 2. That's my order.
Yeah. You want to go like past H2O and you go into like the Rob Zombie and yeah, the first five you just said is exactly my list pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking, dude, all right, there is a way that they could continue the story past Resurrection. Just wrap it up. Just wrap that one up. Call it Halloween 9 and just wrap it up. So you've got Paul Rudd, you've got Danielle Harris. No, she died in the sixth one. Never mind. So you've got, all right, you've got Paul Rudd, you've got Busta Rhyme.
Trick or treat, motherfucker. Yes, Busta. That's Busta.
All right, we get Busta Rhyme, we get LL Cool J, we get Paul Rudd, we get Josh Harnett. We don't know what happened to him, and they wrap up the story. They
Yeah.
wrap it up.
Michael Rappaport plays an older Tommy Doyle. Get like the deep blue sea, LL Cool J back. Yeah, I don't know.
Dude, I'm just saying this because like they completely after Resurrection sucked, obviously.
Well,
They just threw the whole timeline away with that, and it's like just wrap it up then. Just wrap it up.
I mean this trilogy right now is this one's called the Thorn Trilogy,
Yeah, yeah.
and then it could just get so diluted into shit real quick. The Resurrection movie's terrible. I wasn't a fan of the Rob Zombie ones.
Nah.
I just think it's a little trashy for my taking, but that's just my take. People will disagree with me. I just think the Rob Zombie ones are a little like, they use the C word a lot, and that to me is like, I don't know where that needs to be in this movie, and
Well,
I don't know.
let's get into those ones later. I'm sure we'll cover those.
Yeah, we'll hit those.
No, one thing about this movie though that I just really it's so off-putting, dude, and it's a lie because the cover, it looks amazing on it. The mask in this movie, dude.
Oh, totally lost the step. What were they thinking?
Dude, like, because if you look at the cover is the exact same mask from the first two. It's like it's got the line, like, next to his nose. You're like, damn, this
Mm-hmm.
looks really good. First of all, why the fuck would they have a Michael Myers mask? The guy who just killed 16 teens in the town 10 years earlier. Why would they be selling that mask at the store?
Oh, that mask would be so canceled. Get
Yeah.
that mask out of here. Yeah. You wouldn't see that mask anywhere. But there's one scene in this movie. I don't know if it's one scene, but Donald Pleasance is like thrown through the
Yes.
window at the school,
Yes.
and it looks like Michael has the Ben Tramer blonde-haired mask on for a
Yep.
second.
Yep. I
What
noticed
was
that
that
too.
about?
Dude, I was like, he looks crazy. He looks like Michael Myers the White, like sort of thing.
Yeah, like Gandalf, like Michael the White,
Yeah,
Michael
like
the bleached blonde frosted tips hair.
he looks like Eminem. It's for one shot too. Like, were they just like, oh fuck it, just get the fucking blonde wig. I don't care. Let's get the shot.
Like, what do you mean we only have the Ben Tramer wig, like from Halloween 2? It's like, I don't know, like I forgot the other wig, like mask. It's like we have union laws here. Like we have people on set for 10 more minutes. It's like, all right, roll with the mask. We'll
Yeah.
fix it. We'll fix it in post. That's probably what happened. They just didn't have a choice.
It's so obvious and it's only for one shot. So you're just like,
Yeah.
oh my God. I mean, it must have
Yeah.
been a reshoot that they had to go back and do, and they just didn't look at the other footage. I don't know what they were thinking, but that's such a bad idea.
I was gonna say this too, and it doesn't bother me because I do like it. The title sequence.
Oh yeah, I like that too.
I liked it. It was like very autumnal. It's very like Haddonfield is still has its roots of Halloween.
Yeah.
It didn't do the original zoom in on the pumpkin,
Mm.
but that's another reason why I love the 2018 sequels because it nailed that title sequence, dude. It nailed
They
it.
would have done that actually, that title sequence is more appropriate for this one because that's, like, him coming back to life, the return.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
I like the opening sequence, though, of, like, the shots of the farms, and it looks like a very Midwestern, like, October scary time.
Yeah, it kept the font. It kept like the usual like Haddonfield Halloween, and I like the direction of it. It was just too straying from the originals at that
Mm.
point.
The moment that made me not like it like the originals is right in the beginning where Jamie sees flashbacks or whatever, or, like, hallucinations of Michael, and I was like, "This is the moment where it's not a Halloween movie anymore." Like, they've never done that before.
Yeah, they never done. Yeah,
Well, not with flashbacks, but, like, seeing things that aren't there, like, things happening that aren't actually happening.
the costume store, stuff
Yeah,
like that.
and then, like, her getting grabbed under the bed and then screaming, like, like, none of that actually
Well,
happened,
that
so
takes away from just Lori walking home from school and actually seeing the physical Michael Myers. It's like,
right.
no, he's not there. She's just having a nightmare.
So it sucks because 'cause you're like, half the scares aren't even real, So, like,
Yep.
I didn't like that. That was the first thing where I was like, "Ah, this
Hmm.
is where they lost a little bit here."
Did you like when the kids are like, Jamie's uncle's the boogeyman, Jamie's uncle's the boogeyman, where they took the thing from the first one of the kids bullying Tommy?
Dude, the kids in this movie are so mean. They're like, "Your
Yeah.
mom's dead. Your dad, you're an orphan."
It's
Where are
brutal.
the parents? Or where are the teachers?
Stop it! And the teacher's like, ha ha, like,
Your parents are dead. But really quick, right after that scene where she cries and she gets in the car, apparently the friend, because she gets in with her stepsister and then this other girl, apparently that's supposed to be Lindsay Wallace.
No shit.
Because they say Lindsay, it's like, "Come on, Lindsay, like, drive me home," or whatever, and apparently that was, like, a little very weird nod.
All right.
Yeah, but
We'll
anyways,
count it.
and then the other thing that's really mean is when Loomis is trying to, like, hitchhiking, and they're like, "Nice limp, old man." Like, what is wrong with people in this world?
Yeah,
Oh,
that
that
was
was
that was mean.
horrible.
Like, everyone's pretty terrible, and then he gets the ride with, like, the drunk driving priest who's the dude from, Wedding Singer.
And, Pee Wee.
Yes! I was like, "That guy's been in a lot."
What is that scene though, dude? What the hell were the writers thinking there?
I don't know. It just that's when it's just like, we got to do some filler scenes. I really don't even know.
Yeah.
Real quick, I wanna hit upon Danielle Harris, who plays
Yeah.
young Jamie. What a young, up-and-coming scream queen. I think they could have misstepped this movie hard if they went with anyone else.
She's great. I mean, how
She was
old do you think
good.
she was? I mean, she must have been probably like
10,
10?
10, 11, yeah.
Yeah, she did a really great job. Let's see how old she was. Yeah, she was 11 when she did this. So yeah.
11, yeah. Yeah, I mean, the way she screamed, like, when, I mean, just every, like, scene, like, when what's her name fell off the roof, Rachel fell off the roof, and she's like, "Don't be dead, don't be dead," and then immediately having this scream, being scared and running away, and then doing what Jamie Lee Curtis did, like, "Help me, somebody help me," like, doing that whole scene through the
Mm,
neighborhood. I
yeah.
mean, I don't know a lot of 11-year-olds that could nail that. Like,
Yeah. No, you're
and I don't
right.
know a lot of 11-year-olds in general, but, like, I'm just thinking, like, damn, that was really a really good performance for that age.
Yeah, the scene where yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about, where she's, like, jumps over, like, a little fence, and she's like, "Somebody help me!" She's running. I was like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, that was really good for a kid." She's good in the sequel, and I mean, I don't know if you remember, dude, she plays the Annie character in the remake.
Yes, yeah, and the Rob Zombie, yes, she plays
Yeah.
Annie. She's been in, Boy Meets World,
Wish Upon a Star.
Don't Tell Mom It's the Baby. Yeah, oh my god, with that who's in that one too? With, from Knocked Up. What the hell's her name?
Katherine Heigl.
Yeah, she's in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's been in a few things.
Yeah, she's a good actress. I think this was her first movie because it said introducing Danielle Harris.
Classic introducing, so
But dude, honestly, I think one of the most funniest scenes I've ever seen in a horror movie is the beginning of the next one because it starts right where this one ends, where they're all shooting Michael and he falls into the pit or whatever, which I love that shot. I don't know why.
and then it, like, goes into the river or whatever.
Yeah, so, like, the way that this one ends is that, they're all, like, unloading on Michael. There's, like, shooting the shit out of him, and he falls into the thing. The 5th one starts where they, like, add more to it, where they throw, like, dynamite down there, and it blows up, and then he falls into a river, and then gets, like, found by some old dude, and then he just stays in this guy's cabin for a full year until Halloween, and then he gets up and kills the guy that was taking care of him for a year.
That movie's garbage compared to this one.
Yeah, that one's really shitty. That's, like, the part 2 of this that's way worse, but yeah, man, the ending is just I don't know, like, getting to see Michael just getting lit up by guns for some reason, I'm like, "Yes, like, take that motherfucker down, finally, somebody."
Yeah, that
Um,
was a cool scene, and, like, they made it seem like he was dropping into hell, like, they shot him to hell, literally.
yeah. It's so weird though, because they end it with, like, Jamie, dressed up like the clown from the beginning of the first movie when Michael kills his sister, and then they just drop it.
Yeah, I mean, they kinda do some, like, Ancestry.com shit in this. This one's called, like, the Thorn Halloween movies, which is, like, the Sam Hain stuff they do.
Yeah.
So, the reason why what Michael wakes up from the coma is because they mentioned that, "Oh, yeah, does he have any living family?" And then, "Oh, he has a niece," and then he wakes up and immediately pokes his thumb through the dude's skull,
Yeah.
which is crazy. That happens, and then Jamie goes to, like, check on him, like, holds his hand, so it's like the evil passes to her through the touch.
Yeah, but then they just drop that whole thing, and she's fine in the next
Well,
one.
we don't see, like, she doesn't really talk again until that scene at the end. So
Right.
it is a cool, like, the evil just continues on with the family. But it
Yeah.
makes me think, like, "Oh, well, what about Jamie Lee Curtis? She seemed fine at the end of it." Like, I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah. Well, the whole sister brother, just yeah. One thing that I've just always kind of thought, and I'm probably looking way too much into it, but like Michael gets arrested when he's what, like 6 years old, right? When he kills his sister in 1963,
Yeah.
and he spends from that point
I think
until
he was 8, 8 or something like that.
okay, so he spends at least 15 years because he's 21 when he gets out of Smith's Grove in
Mhm.
1978. So he's 31. Wow, he's 31 when he's doing this. All right, so in 1988 he's 31. He's spent vast majority of his life behind bars in institutions and stuff like that. How does he know how to do anything? Like, we've already talked about the car driving thing or whatever, but, like,
Mm.
how does he know, "Hey, I need to go to a town and take out the electrical supply system?" Like, an 8-year-old doesn't know how to do that, and he basically has the mental capacity of an 8-year-old.
They make the joke in Halloween 1. Maybe someone around here when he drove away. It's like, how does he know how to drive a car, Loomis? He's like, I don't know. Maybe someone around here gave him lessons,
Right.
and that kind of gives the idea of the cult behind him, and like there's people within the Sam Hain cult that do teach him these things.
Yeah,
I don't know.
so it would have been like, "Alright, Michael, so when you escape, what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to take out the power grid, alright? The way
And
you take out a power."
There's a guy named Bucky who watches over the power grid. You're gonna have to electrocute him. It's gonna knock out the power to the whole town. Like,
Yes, and by doing that, you'll cut off communication between the police and the town. It's just like so they have to explain everything to him. It's like, "Alright, so when you get into the town, you're gonna have to, like, break into a store and steal a mask, okay? But you're gonna set the alarm off." So, I don't know. It's that one line is too
for
convenient
sure.
to fill in everything about him, you know?
I mean, 8 years old, he probably saw enough television to
No,
know what's going
dude,
on. At least
I if you
I don't know. I don't know.
I know.
I'm gonna give it the minor benefit of the doubt there.
I
And
thought of, like
maybe Smith's Grove has a great like education program. I
that's
don't
what I
know.
thought. I was like, maybe he spent these entire years just reading about, like, okay, so, like, town has, like, a sewer system and has, like, streets and a
This
grid.
is the job of an excavator.
Yeah.
And it teaches them like, what's an excavator? Maybe I can use that to kill people. Like
Also, the dude from, Dazed and Confused is in it.
Sasha Jensen. I looked him up too. He's
Yeah.
not in a whole lot other, but I always thought he was great in Dazed and Confused. In this, he was pretty good.
I was watching him and I was like, I would bet anything he auditioned for Bobby Briggs in Twin Peaks because that came out, like, 2 years later.
Twin Peaks. Yeah, probably,
I
probably.
just he kinda looks like the guy that plays Bobby Briggs, so I'm like,
Yeah.
I bet he auditioned for it. Yeah, so the whole, like, plot of the movie is basically just, like, Jamie is her parents are dead, so she's been living with a foster family that also knew Laurie Strode, knew her and her husband, so they're raising the daughter for her, and basically just Halloween night, you find out that Michael's back, her stepsister's been cheated on by her boyfriend, and that's pretty much it, running away from Michael. And Loomis is back.
Yeah, but also that Jamie's gonna celebrate Halloween too. Like, I wanna go out. Like, I don't care about my past.
Like, do you think she knew about that until, like, this year? Do you think this is the first time she finds out her uncle is this guy?
I wonder if she knows. Yeah.
Well,
They kinda
because
hint upon, like, she hears things in conversation, so I wonder if
like,
she knows, yeah.
but do you think, like, when Jamie Lee Curtis when Laurie Strode, like, had her, did they think they lived in Haddonfield?
I don't know, like, she, like, straight up, like, trained her like Linda Hamilton and Terminator, like, "You need to prepare for Michael," which is kinda what they do in the new Halloween movie. I don't know, dude, like, it makes me really think, but,
Because it just
uh
seems like after Halloween 2, Laurie's like, "Alright, well, now I'll just have a normal life and meet some man, and we'll just have a family and blah, blah, blah." It's like, I don't think you could really she knows he's alive still, you know?
yeah.
She like, Laurie know I mean, she just gets in a car crash, which, like, whatever, so her and her husband die, but, like, as far as she's concerned, Michael Myers is in this new Ridgemont facility, and he's just there doing whatever, so you'd think she'd be like, "Let's get the hell away as far as we
Mhm.
can go, I gotta tell my husband about this," like, but we don't get to know him, we don't know anything.
We don't. Yeah, there's kinda leave that up in the air, but, I mean, you kinda have to, because no one wants to be like, "Alright, let me tell the theater, people in the theater all this stuff," and
I mean, that's kinda like, that's what I love about watching these kinda slasher movies is I wanna see how the writers can dig themselves out of the hole they got into. That's kinda half the reason I enjoy them. I'm like, I
yeah.
wanna see how, like, they can justify Michael's alive again.
Well, they make that line too, like when the ambulance is in the water and Donald Pleasance is there, and the guy's like, "Come on, he's been in a coma for 10 years. How is he gonna move? His muscles aren't gonna be able to do shit because he's been in a coma and he hasn't moved."
Yeah.
Donald Pleasance does the line, "This isn't a man." It's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, there's your answer. That's your answer, scientific people in the theater."
Also,
Like,
why does he always have to eat dogs? It's like he could eat whatever he wants. He's not eating the slop they're giving him at the mental asylum, and all he wants to do is eat dogs.
I don't know. He doesn't get along with dogs though. You know why he doesn't get along with dogs? Is because the dogs are the only thing that like bark and can see him. Everyone else like can't ever tell when he's behind him. Like dogs always bark when he's
Yeah.
around, and he's like, "God, the dogs are breaking my cover again." Like he's killed a ton of dogs.
I know. It seems like every movie he kills a dog, and you're just like, "Alright." I did like the ending, though. I kinda thought, like, when that one sheriff dies, like, they his I don't even know what the hell he does to him. His face is all crushed up or whatever, and he's just sitting in the rocking chair, Michael, with the gun. I thought that was pretty good. That
Yeah,
kinda
that was. I mean, they did a good job. I thought the roof scene was pretty good. Them like going down, and she has to like tie Jamie up and like let her down really
Yeah.
quickly as he's, like, right behind them. It's like, "Oh, how much time do you have to tie this knot, lower her down safely because he's right behind you?" But stuff like that, I just enjoyed it. I thought it was good.
I didn't really understand that part too where the boyfriend was just like, "Oh, we're locked in this house." It's like, "Well, how did Michael get in then?"
Yeah. So, "We're locked in here. Go up the stairs. Just go!" And, like, he just
Yeah.
gets immediately killed.
Oh my god, dude, that shotgun scene was painfully cringy to watch, though. It was just like, "Go again,
Yeah.
come on." He's, like, loading it for, like, 10 minutes, and Michael's just standing there, like, slowly, like, "Well, I mean."
That just gets you excited, like, in the theater or whatever. It's like, "This guy sucks at loading shotgun shells." Like, "Oh my god."
I know, because he probably coulda killed Michael right there if he shot him, like, in the chest and then shot him in the head. I mean, I don't know, point blank shotgun to the face?
Dad should blow his head up in general. Like,
Yeah. Well, then I love too doesn't he gets hit by the truck in this one too, right? And he gets nailed?
yeah,
He gets fucked up so many movies, dude. Yeah, I love it. I love these freaking movies.
yeah. All of it
There's
too. I think just the firing squad at the end is just like, "Oh my god.
That's my
Damn."
favorite, but if the only good part of Revenge of Michael Myers, the 5th one, is just that opening shot where they, like, retcon that Jamie actually didn't kill anybody and that she just gets unloaded on. And then I love the dynamite they add too, and yeah. Oh,
Yeah, it's like, "Oh, no, he's really not getting out." And then he just, like, kinda, like, shimmies his way down to the river. Oh, it's so
I'll never forget
cheesy.
the music is so bad too. He's like, "Ding, ding, ding, ding,
Oh,
ding,
it's
ding, ding,
such a
ding, 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 ding,
terrible
ding."
version of the song. Yeah.
It was done by, like, a old, like, MacBook from the late '80s. It was awful, dude. I mean, there are worse Halloween movies. There are certainly better, but this is kind of in the middle, you know?
Yeah, I mean, the best part of this movie is that they brought back Donald Pleasance and that they found a child actor, Daniel Harris, to just nail the role. Those are the
Yeah.
2 best parts. Without that, this movie would have been $5
Mhm.
bin at Walmart real quick before Walmart existed.
Yeah, it's okay. I think I love the poster. I remember this one and then the box for the 5th one scared me so bad at Blockbuster. I don't know what it was. I think it was like seeing a kid in a horror movie really freaked me out.
As a kid in Blockbuster. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Boom. Also, one other thing about Daniel Harris, one of your favorite movies, Alec, is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, right?
Yeah.
She's in that movie.
Really? Who was she in that?
She is the pregnant person at the ranch who, like,
Huh.
goes up to somebody and is like, "Oh, you gotta go tell Ted to come down here and get the horse."
Okay.
Yeah, she's in that movie.
Huh, I know,
Like, literally 2 seconds, but yeah.
yeah, that whole cult, the whole, Manson cult is a lot of very, like, recognizable actors and actresses that are just very briefly make cameos. Who else is in it? It's, Dakota Fanning's in that, and so is Lena Dunham, and there's someone else too, but yeah, there's a lot of, like, just you're like, "Oh my god, I
There's
didn't realize."
what's her name's daughter's in it too. I forgot too, but, not to talk about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I just wanna bring that up because I know you love Once Upon a Time in
Oh,
Hollywood.
yeah. That's one of my favorites, man. Yeah.
So
This one, check it out. Check it out. If you just finished the 2nd one, you're like, "I wanna see what happens next," you know?
I love this movie. It has a great title sequence. It's different than the original. Daniel Harris is great. Donald Pleasance's big return to the Halloween franchise, and of course the god awful Michael Myers mask. But
Yeah.
yeah, I like it. A lot of fun. Reminds me of Halloween. It's that time of year.
Well, speaking of Halloween and that time of year, why don't you spin the wheel?
Let's spin it and pull it up.
Yeah, new Halloween Kills is so close.
Oh, I cannot wait to see that movie. All right, ready?
Yep.
Spinning. Mm, 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 mm. Scream.
Nice. So we got Joe Testa coming on for Scream,
Oh,
and
girl, here we go.
I think he said he saw it in theaters, so that's gonna be interesting to
Oh,
hear.
boy, the boys are back in town. Let's go. Let's have fun.
All right, well, thank you everybody for listening in to our episode on Halloween 4, and we'll see everybody tomorrow with Scream.
Woo!